Happy Friday, happy Friday. Thanks for joining everybody. Our Friday Producers Club, our daily Producers Mindset session. And I have the pleasure of hosting today's session with special guest, Nina Alexander. Nina.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Meny.
So good to have you. Thanks again for making time. I know you have a busy schedule. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, right? Um, Nina Alexander. Who's Nina Alexander? Tell us more about you.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm a I'm a realtor, 4.5 years in the business. Before getting into real estate, actually, had a very strong career in nuclear medicine. I actually I was with the company for a really long time, and I was actually thinking at some point this is going to be my retirement. Um, so kind of like going back just a little bit, even before getting into nuclear medicine, I've always loved cells. It's always been something that I've been driven to. And even when I was in college and I had changed like my major like a billion times, I was even thinking journalism. I was thinking like so many different things that I would ultimately want to do, pharmaceutical cells. And I ended up getting into nuclear medicine, and I was with that company for a really long time. And towards kind of like the end of it, I was feeling a huge amount of stress. And in any industry, there's going to be stresses. It's kind of unavoidable. But in this particular case, because it's nuclear medicine essentially, there's no room for error. And obviously, we're human, and mistakes do happen. But in that industry, you don't get even one mistake because it's essentially nuclear medicine, and if it gets into the wrong hands, it could be then used as a weapon. So it was very like a lot of compliance, a lot of just stresses, different than real estate. Although it was sales, it was very different. And my cousin Demetrius, I think I was just kind of like talking to him and venting, and he said, you should think about real estate. You do really well. You'd be amazing at it. You kill it. And I was like, really? And I remember this call because I was actually on my lunch break and I was just like listening. And you know how like every time when you're talking to someone who's like a family or a friend and they're kind of building you, it kind of really like has you thinking like, wow, maybe I could do that, even though I have such safety here and I am so comfortable. Maybe that is something I should think about. So I found online KW courses in Simi Valley at the Simi Valley KW location, and I signed up in 2017. And 2017, and it was like an every Wednesday, and the lady was amazing. Her name was Teresa. Can't remember her last name, but she was phenomenal. And I was like really enjoying it. And then obviously I got my license in 2018 and I joined Keller Williams in February 2018. So a little bit more about me. I love nature. I love hiking. I love animals. Actually love animals so much that I love like volunteering. When I am working with a client that has an animal, I feel like I'm bonding more with the animal than my actual client. So I have a real love and appreciation for nature and for animals. I love scuba diving. Just recently took up golfing. So I love that. So I love to get out and do things because I think it's important that there's just so much more to us than just our work and what we do. I love my family, my friends. I love to travel. Traveling is huge. Again, learning about different cultures, how people operate. I think that's really vitally important just as a person to just kind of make your heart more open to understanding people. So traveling is huge. I don't know. I don't think we have enough time for me to tell you everything, but that's, yeah.
We got the whole time in the world, but that was awesome. Thanks for sharing that. It's always interesting to know what kind of background, right, every person in the industry comes from, because, you know, some people will resonate, or it's going to say, you know, okay, now I understand the path, right? Have you always been or had that positive attitude like you have today?
Yeah, so I would say yes. I think that's just I grew up in Marina Del Rey, so I'm a beach girl. I'm a very um I don't know, my attitude, just kind of the things that I've seen in life, and obviously living by the beach as a baby, just kind of growing up living down there. It's just very free, and so my mindset is I've always been like wanting to entertain to some degree, people, whether I think I'm funny or not. So I think my mindset and positiveness that I have, I think it's kind of more what I want to give to people. And I just choose to live my life this way because why would I want to live any other way? And if I feel that I'm maybe watching the news too much, or if I'm around people that are in a really low vibration and I feel like I want to pull them out of it, but it's not working, then I have to kind of detach because I can feel it draining my energy, because I am, for the most part, I would say maybe 80-20. I am very high and positive, but I'm human. So I do have my moments when I go into solitude, when I just need to be away from people for whatever reason personally, that I just need a break and I need to recharge, because I naturally want to exude all of this for everyone, that I need to recharge, because it's really more about how I want other people to feel. I want people to feel good. And that's just innately like my character. Like I just want people around me to feel good and feel inspired and feel love. And I think just in the world and what's going on, and we all know what's going on in the world in other countries, that we need love. We need to give love and positivity to people.
Yeah,
That sounded really Miss America. I'm
I
sorry,
vote.
guys.
I vote Nina. We'll do a poll at the very end.
That was like too much. I'm sorry.
No, but that's totally you, and that's what defines you, and that's why I definitely was asking that question. Wouldn't skip that, because, you know, whoever knows you, and from this call right now, you know, if nobody met you in person, they can feel that sincerity and energy that you bring on. And what I hear from what you said is that it's pretty much a matter of choice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can choose to be happy and conquer the world and do your very best and live this life fruitfully, or you can choose to be negative and to encourage that negative company and be miserable. And I choose to be happy. I choose to live this life as full as I can.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, we always gonna have challenges or what have you in the path of happiness, success, or what have you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nina wakes up in the morning. You wake up in the morning, and then what? By the way, what time do you wake up? What's the morning routine like?
So I wake up at, generally it's like 5:30, and I do my morning prayer. So I'm not overly religious, but I do have a beautiful relationship with God. I love God, and sorry for the sirens in the background. I purposely do live my life through Christ. So I start with just the gratefulness of having breath and living another day. So I start off with prayer. I am getting into meditation to really kind of like get closer to God. So for me, it's really important. I do my morning walk. And usually when I do my morning walk is when I do my prayer to God. And um, yeah, that's what I do. I walk about 2 miles in the morning, and then I come back and I will either go to the gym and work out. Usually it's more like in the afternoon that I'll get my session in, or I will then get on the phone and get on my emails and start my day.
Yeah, and you know, so that's pretty much how you anchor yourself to that mindset, right? Of positivity. Do you also kind of go over what the day will bring, or you do that day before, like going over the calendar and your schedule?
Yeah. Yeah, my schedule is pretty much like laid out. the week before for like the upcoming week. So yeah, like I already know like what the day is going to bring. And sometimes things happen. I have to, shuffle things around, but I already kind of have my calendar already in place, appointments. If there's a listing that's coming up, I already know like what I have to do to kind of get in line for that. So yeah, my schedule is already preset. And in some cases, weeks before. And it's just kind of adding things in, shuffling things around.
Right. How do you handle with like last minute changes, or like many people, right? Like we have everything set up, wake up in the morning, we prime for the day, and then bam, last minute change, unexpected, could be positive, could be negative, can be just messing up our day or whatever. How do you handle that kind of immediate change?
Like it's nothing. Like no sweat off my back, because it does happen. And I think that that's just, people. I had a listing appointment for my client on Monday, and he says, "Oh my gosh, we have to reschedule because I." And I said, "Okay, no problem." It's, for me, it's expected. You kind of, you get into this business, or any business for that matter, and those things are expected. So I just move that appointment. I don't spend a lot of time on stuff like that. To me, it's like, okay, it's canceled, it's being moved. Let me make a note to make sure I stay on top of it and I get it rescheduled. That would probably be all the time that I spend on it, because there's other things that I have to attend to. So I don't really spend so much time on something getting canceled. I don't let it affect me. If that's what people may wonder, it doesn't affect me.
And you're one of those people out there, right? There are not too many that like you just mentioned, you adjust like instantly without hesitation, right? And just handle whatever that comes your way in a very kind of nonchalant, relaxed way, no stress. Where does it come from? Is that just self-confidence? Is that your attitude? Is that what is it?
That's a really great question, because I'm going to go back to year 1 and year 2. So year 1 and year 2, and just speaking business, obviously this is business call, there would have been some anxiety. There would have been some pressure, like, oh no, did I do something wrong? Is that why they're canceling? I would have been overthinking, why did this change? Why did this cancel? Now, 4.5 years into real estate,
Mm-hmm.
I have so much more confidence in myself and my ability and who I am in this business, that, again, dust off the shoulders. It doesn't faze me, because I know my value proposition. I know what I have to offer you, and I know that you're going to want to work with me. Why wouldn't you want to work with me? We'll reschedule, no worries. And here's the thing, I was thinking about this last night, because I was trying to think about the questions you were going to ask me, and you don't know what the other person's going through. And sometimes we get so caught up in ourselves. It's me. Did I do something wrong? There's always something you don't know. So don't take it personal. Don't think from the mindset of it's me, because it's not. More times it's really not you. It's just something came up. So I think that if you have a more relaxed approach, you take a deep breath, okay, you respond, maybe not right away. If you're feeling a little anxiety or a little pressure that it may be you, don't respond right away. Give yourself a pause, and just know that it's not you, and give that comfort and ease to the other person, because they're going to appreciate that. They're going to be like, wow, I'm so glad I picked that person, because they're so accommodating. I last minute canceled with them, and they're so accommodating and so understanding. So the confidence comes from the experience, the situations that I've dealt with year 1, year 2, year 3, now going into 4.5 years. It's experience. You're going to build the confidence as you go. The more times you put yourself out there in those positions of having someone cancel or having someone decide they don't want to work with you, it builds your confidence. You can only get better.
Yeah, and that's what I consider to be a life hack, right? That driven by both wisdom and implementation. Like, actually do stuff. We always learn things. It's just a matter of like how fast we are to implement them. Because what you're saying is, things comes my way, things come your way. It depends how you respond to them. You make a decision how to respond to them, and that's how you can also determine the level of stress, passion, excitement, or anger, stress, whatever, what have you. So that's very smart. By the way, so you said yesterday you were thinking about what kind of questions I'm going to ask you, right? Because I didn't prepare for that conversation. So, what kind of question you thought I'm going to ask you?
Well, I didn't think, I mean, obviously we've been doing these top producer mindset calls for a bit now. So, I know that Meny likes to switch it up from time to time. So I obviously, I knew that it was going to be questions about obviously the real estate, and really just, again, what can I give to people listening in? What can I do to help inspire? And that's really like my goal. So I figured it'd be questions in that realm of how I can help, people that are listening.
Yeah. And the reason I was asking is so people will understand your approach about your natural approach about what you're expecting to do, or in this specific case to give, because you're a giver. You're a big giver with a purpose, right? And that's like one of your taglines, and it translates to so many different areas. But because I do have questions about that, because I do think it's part of your success DNA. So the first couple of years, right? So you step into 2018. Remind me if you were a full-time agent, or you were, I think maybe a dual career. You had like other stuff happening at the same time. So tell us about kind of your first kind of year, 2 years.
Oh gosh. Okay, the first year was wow. Okay, so so the first year, 2018, I was plugged into training. I had a great mentor, but I literally was so plugged into the trainings that that's all I did. I literally immersed myself in every single training. I don't even think I lead gen. I did have a couple of sales in my first year, but it wasn't significant, guys. Like, I literally was so laser focused. And I think that just comes from school and just really just wanting to make sure that like I understood everything. I wanted to just be the best I could be. And I felt like I needed to learn. And I don't know, I think that was just kind of my thing. So 2018 was just classes and Ignite, Bold. I think I joined the office in February and did my first Bold in March. And that was like, whoa. So that's when it really like started, like, but it was a lot. Imagine someone coming in and learning everything all in one like small amount of time. So the first year was learning, and I drove Uber my first year because I needed, I left my other career because I really wanted to get into this, but I drove Uber, and I actually picked up a few clients that did some sales from me as a result of Uber, who are still clients today. So it was kind of a thing where, like, I remember telling Meny, and he was like, no, don't be embarrassed. You got to do what you have to do. And I was like, this is so weird. Like, and he was like, don't be embarrassed. And I was like, okay. So yes, my mom did not like it. She was like, I cannot wait till you stop. This is so dangerous. And I was like, I know, Mom. I don't have sales yet. So yeah, I did Uber. And then I left Uber. Actually, I want to say like mid 2019, I left Uber, and 2019 was obviously better. I did a lot. So I'm going to just break it down. I'm going to be so honest with you guys here and just share, because I think it's important to share. Sharing is caring. So my first year, I made 8,000. Woohoo. I was like, wow, this is great. And then my second year was a little tough for me, actually, because the second year I almost lost my mom. My mom was really ill, and I was trying to juggle everything. So it was like the first half of 2019 was my mom, and just, so that was rough. And then when things were getting better with her and her health is when my business, so it was like the second half, I made 34,000 for that second half. So I basically only worked 6 months. And then 2020, I'm like, okay, so I had already quit Uber. I'm 2020 now, and now we've got the pandemic, and I'm freaking out because this is my first official shift in this market that everyone's been talking about, that now I'm about to experience for the first time. And I was panicking and stressing, and literally God spoke to me and said, you got this, you're going to be okay. And I did open houses. I had just came back from family reunion with Meny, Hallie, Stephanie, all the gang, and I was inspired. However, my inspiration was slowly diminishing because now we're in a pandemic coming back, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to go back into corporate America. I'm going to have to do something because I'm freaking out right now, and I didn't want to do that. So leading up to family reunion, my goals were 10 open houses every month. So I did 10 in January. I think I did like 8 in February. And then March, I was only able to do 4 because the governor put out the directive of no more open houses. Well, that 2.5 months of doing open houses, I picked up, 15 or 20 clients, 5 of which closed deals that year for me. I made over 100,000 in 2020. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, huh? What? So I was quickly just like, okay, it's really our belief, and it's our belief system, and really leaving the scarcity mindset behind, not letting that corrupt what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And yeah, here I am now, 2021, and I doubled from 2020. So it's more than doubled, actually. So I think that it's really, don't give up. Don't give up. The obstacles are there. They're always going to be there. And I feel like it's a good thing in a way, because it's testing your strength. It's testing your tenacity. It's testing so many different areas of you, which ultimately then will transcend in your growth, which is important. We need to constantly be growing, constantly be learning, and feeding ourselves so we can be the best version of ourselves. So I don't regret. I welcome everything that's happened, because it's made me like who I am today. And I am so different than 2018 when I started. I mean, you saw me, Meny. I was like, I was in every class, like taking notes. I was like, it's just 4.5 years ago. It's not even like that long.
Yeah. Well, setting the tone to success and building the right foundations, it's definitely, because, there are no shortcuts. A lot of people looking for shortcuts. In some, different shapes and forms, there's no shortcuts. So you definitely clearly build solid foundations to have that kind of self-confidence that you can deliver what naturally you have, which now we can see what it is. We can see it, we can feel it, we can hear it. And I also think one thing I picked up from what you just showed with us is, in 2.5 months, right, in 2020, you did what a lot of people don't do even like in 1 year, right? All those open houses, and you picked X amount of clientele, and then that translated into closed transaction, right? And then earned income. So that message to everybody: think what, if we go back and we're gonna relive 2020, and you only have 2.5 months right now to do whatever you need to do before the unknown. What would you do? So that's what Nina approach was. And I remember you, Nina, also in 2021, you double up on those open houses as much as you could.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the thing is, 2020 was scary, I think, for most of us. Maybe not all, because people have experienced the other shifts in the market. But for me, it was very scary time because I wasn't sure. And what was that, Meny?
No, go ahead.
Oh, and also that year, I lost my dad to COVID. So it was like, okay, we have a pandemic, and now I lost my dad, and I wasn't even able to say goodbye to him because they weren't letting anyone in the hospital. So I had to process a lot while still maintaining my business. And I know that my dad was like, "You got this." I could feel his strength. I could feel God's strength because I know that, yeah, there's going to be moments where you want to be in that grieving moment and you want to just sit in that. But I know that that's not what he wants. And I think that's what pushed me to continue. And it actually kind of helped to kind of take my mind off of it too. So it was a lot in 2020, but it really propelled me from like where I am today. Because again, the clients that I met in that first quarter, I still talk to them. You never know who you're going to meet and who's going to change your life. And the thing that I would say is be authentic, be you, really connect with people because that's all they want. They just want to connect. And if they connect with you and they like you, they're going to stay with you as long as you stay in touch. So, yeah, I mean, 80% of my business 2020 was from open houses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's incredible. And sometimes being authentic, it can be, or direct. It can it can be, a pleasure. It can be a pain, right? But if you know, who you are, what you stand for, what it can deliver, stick with it at any cost, pretty much, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone in this business has it. I think that you just have to find what your rhythm is and stick with it. And but also have a healthy balance. Make sure that you have time with your family and friends. Make sure you have time for yourself. Like understand that like that's important too. Self-care is important too, taking breaks. But find what it is that you love in this business, because what you find that you love, you will do it effortlessly. It won't feel like, ugh, I don't want to cold call. Ugh, I don't want to do open houses. I don't want to doorknob.
Mm-hmm.
Find what you love and do it with passion because people are going to feel it.
Yeah. What's in the pipeline for Nina? You have a busy year so far.
Yeah, I've got some good stuff. So we shot a listing yesterday in Newbury Park. That's going to be hitting as a coming soon, probably today, this weekend. I'm just waiting to get the pictures back. And that's going to be hitting. That's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, cute house with a pool. It's going to be listed at $1,080,000. And we've got a Calabasas listing coming for 3.6 in about 2 weeks. So we're prepping for that. And this one, just so you guys know, this is a perfect example of having your mindset right and staying in touch with your client. I've been working with this client for 1 year and it came as a referral. So I've nurtured it for 1 year. I've become friends with the husband and wife. And I'm listing their house with Jordan Davies. I brought him into it because he's a huge inspiration to me, and this was a big listing, so I wanted to bring him in. So that's hitting in 2 weeks, and then I've got a North Hollywood condo that's going to be coming soon, and then Emilio and I have a listing coming in Reseda in about a month and a half, and then obviously a ton of buyers that I'm working with. So it's a pretty nice pipeline.
That's also like, when you focus on expense, right? Because I remember you at some point, you're asking, right? And by the way, one thing about Nina, when she asks something, And when she's wondering about something, you know, because she's doing it like in the open. She's thinking about it. She's asking, you know, which is, it's a strength because, you know, you're not shying away from, you know, success or from the challenge, if you may. So at some point, I remember you were asking, how can I become more of a luxury agent, like different price point, bigger listings and whatever. And you already did, you know, multiple of those. And now, you know, it's Calabasas 3.6. It's a nice one too.
It is really nice. I can't wait for you guys to see it. And my client is an NFL athlete, which is the industry that I'm trying to break into. So there's some big things coming. I'm really excited. And I appreciate you immensely, Meny. You have been I just want to say, you've been a huge supporter in my business, and really I attribute you to like helping me with everything that I've done. So, you know, you're only as strong as your weakest link. I mean, we really, it's a team effort. I want you guys to know, like, I made the decision to be with Keller Williams and to be with Meny and to be surrounded by all these amazing agents that I've had a chance to meet. So it's a collective team effort. This is not just me solo.
Thank you. It's definitely a team sports, right? If you approach it that way, a lot of agents are shying away because they just don't know, or maybe it's like an older practice. It used to be back, you know, many years ago. It was a very, again, individual sports, but it's definitely today more of a team approach. And you know, you've been also a blessing in many other people's life, right? That been mentored by you, or just you know, co-pilots in a you know, in a listing, or buyers and everything, and got to work with you. It's, you just have the right attitude, the right approach, and I think we need more of that positive attitude, right? So yeah, I mean, definitely very inspiring, and thanks everybody for kind of giving shout outs on the chat to anything else you want to leave us with for this day?
No, you know, I would just say, if you feel like you're having a struggle, or if you're feeling like you're having a moment where you're unsure, keep going. That's nothing but the enemy trying to defeat you, and you got this. Like, you got this. There is something in you that is so beautiful and that is so special, that is only unique to you, and people are going to gravitate to you because of your uniqueness. So just don't give up is one thing I would say. Don't give up, because I really do feel that as long as you have good intentions and you have good integrity and you're a good person, you're gonna succeed no matter what. As long as you do the work and you don't give up, you're gonna succeed. And if you would like to talk to me, if you have questions outside of this, feel free to give me a call. Like, I'm here. Like, really, this is family.
So true, and so true, so simple and powerful, Nina. Thank you for that. That was beautiful, and definitely coming from sharing and contribution. So Kimia, yeah, we totally got it. Nina Alexander, you're a beautiful person inside out. I appreciate you. You're the definition of success, and keep it up. We all of us are here for you. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.